Hello, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a quick reading update video. I haven't done one of these in a while. And then I also have two new books that I just received in the mail today. So I thought I would go ahead and show those as well. Sort of just do one sort of book catch-up video. So I wanted to start with my two recent reads. My most recent book that I have read is The Last Days of the Romanovs by Helen Rappaport. I don't have the dust jacket for this book. I ordered it secondhand on Thrift Books, and I did not realize that I ordered a version or an edition that had the little check mark for no dust jacket. So that is on me, so that's why I'm trying to hold the spine up to you here so you can see the title. But this was excellent. I sat down and I read this whole thing on Saturday, early morning into the early afternoon, and it was absolutely fantastic. This is part of Helen Rappaport's Romanov series, which isn't technically a series as much as it is just her books on the Romanov family, but the way she's written them, they sort of line up as a series would. So she has the Romanov sisters, then she has this book, The Last Days of the Romanovs, and then she has a book called Race to Save the Romanovs, which this book, The Last Days of the Romanovs, covers only about a 13-day period, about a 2-week period of the Imperial Russian family's captivity in Yekaterinburg in Russia, which is the last location where they were held before they were killed by Bolshevik forces. And so it's it's a slim book because it's a very slim time frame, but it's excellently done. And so next I'm going to read A Race to Save the Romanovs, which looks in a little bit more in detail into the escape plans that were sort of set in place and attempted but never seen through to fruition to aid the imperial family in escaping Russia. And there were a couple of different plans that had been set in place, all of which ended up failing. One of the main plans that focuses in that book is with England and George V, in helping his cousin, which was Nicholas II, in escaping, and sort of goes into a little bit more detail on that. But this was excellent. It was very short, but very well done, and I would highly recommend it if you are interested in the last chapters, essentially, of the Romanov imperial family. The next, another book that I finished reading previous to The Last Days of the Romanovs was We Too by Gillian Gill, and I showed this one a couple of times. I had this one going for a really long time. The week that I started it turned out to be an incredibly busy week at work, more busy than I was expecting, and so that had cut down on my reading time. And then for some reason it was just very slow reading for me to get through this book, and I don't really know why, because I was enjoying it, and I really enjoyed the reading, and maybe that had something to do with it if I was enjoying it. So I was sort of slowed. I had sort of slowed my pace down to enjoy it more. But this is an excellent look into the relationship and the political, or the marriage, and then the political relationship of Queen Victoria and Prince Consort Albert. Their dynamic was incredibly interesting, sort of going between these very turbulent periods in the relationship, then that would sort of be faded out, and a very fawning, affectionate period would be ushered in. Both were incredibly driven, incredibly ambitious. Both were somewhat narcissistic, self-centered individuals who were using the other for their own gain. This was an excellent look. Slightly more pessimistic in tone than Helen Rappaport's A Magnificent Obsession. I'm still planning on doing a video comparing We Too with Helen Rappaport's A Magnificent Obsession, and talking a little bit about the differences between the two of them since they are on the exact same subject. So that brings us up to my currently reading, which is a book that I started yesterday, and that is my Dearest Albert, Queen Victoria's Life Through Her Letters and Journals, compiled by Karen Dolby. And so this is not so much a book about Queen Victoria and her relationship with Albert, as it's more journal excerpts and letter excerpts from Queen Victoria herself, written to either her husband or to Lord Melbourne, the Prime Minister, before him Robert Peel, the Prime Minister. It gives an excellent, very intimate look into Queen Victoria's life. She was not shy at all about writing deeply her feelings and her emotions, and she was quite open, particularly for a monarch, but especially for the time period in which she was corresponding. And so I'm really, really enjoying it. It's very short. It's under 200 pages, so I'm hoping to finish it by the end of today. And then lastly, I just have two books that I got delivered in the mail today that I wanted to show. Both of them are related to Queen Victoria and Victorian history, which is sort of where I have landed as of late in my nonfiction reading, and I've really been enjoying it. So I'm really in no rush to leave the subject. The first one is a biography of Victoria, Queen Victoria, by A.N. Wilson, just simply titled Victoria, A Life. I'm really interested to read this. I have seen sort of differing opinions on A.N. Wilson and his work. I know that a lot of people really enjoy him, and others are less than thrilled by his work. I know that Steve Donahue particularly is not a huge fan of his work, and he's talked about it on a couple of different occasions on his channel. But then I found lots of people who are quite a fan of his works. I have not read anything by him yet, and so I'm really eager to jump into this really nice thick biography of Queen Victoria. And then the next is by Jane Ridley, and that is The Heir Apparent, A Life of Edward VII, the Playboy Prince. Trying to cut down on that glare. I love the cover. I love the aesthetic and the design of this one as well. I think it was really well designed. But I'm very excited to dive into this one. This is obviously Edward the Seventh, or Bertie, which was Queen Victoria and Prince Albert's son. And so I'm really eager to jump into this one. He was sort of always under his parents' expectations, particularly Prince Albert's expectations were incredibly high for him. So he was sort of the slacker and the underdog his entire life, always the underachiever, sort of the misfit, the black sheep of the family. And I also, this will be my first time reading anything by Jane Ridley, which I'm really excited about as well. So that is it for this video. I just wanted to share a couple of those books, as well as my recent reads and my current reads. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it interesting, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.